Greetings. Welcome to another episode of our Lifehack Advisors podcast. I'm John.
I'm Stevie P.
Marcus, and stuck in a snowbank is Mike Davidoff, so he'll have to come and join us another time.
It was because of CrossFit.
Yeah, he didn't have the strength to power through the snow like the rest of us. But we welcome you from post-snowpocalyptic New Hampshire. Storm not quite as bad in some areas as they're saying. How'd you guys spend the day?
I got a lot done.
Did you? Like what?
Yeah. Did some writing. Recorded a video about it, actually.
There you go.
Dove a little deep with it.
And tons of work for Axiom.
Oh, yeah. Work from home.
Don't you love that?
Yeah. That's life hacking.
And my primary means of income was actually very busy, so I busted ass in a hotel room all day working. And then I did brave the elements. Strange Brew was the only place open.
Nice. They're ballsy enough to open up.
Yeah.
You think with all the hipsters that they would have been closed.
Well, yeah, it was Tuesday, and the funny part was the cops even drove through all the snowbanks and shined the light in there, to see how many people were in, right in on the bartenders. So see who'd be dumb enough to come out.
Nice. So you both got some work done.
Mm-hmm.
I did not get any work done.
Why is that?
I was asked to come help house sit. Casey was by herself and was not about to take care of a house in case the electricity went out. So we ended up having a couple people over, and we just partied like it was 1969.
Oh boy, what happened to that vessel, the temple? You're taking care of it last week.
Well, I was taking care of it. After that, and feeling like complete shit yesterday morning, I decided, on top of the stir crazy, that I was pretty much just going to shovel her whole driveway by hand.
Nice.
So that was about 30 inches or so. It was all powder, but even powder gets heavy after a while, let's be honest.
Yeah.
And I woke up this morning, and I was just like, ugh, it was bad.
But I think we should mention as well, we are sitting in honor of Katie Bowman and her practice of getting rid of furniture, because basically it forces you to do natural stretching and
Pelvic floor.
yeah, exactly. So what the hell
Sitting's
we're
the
gonna
new
try?
smoking.
Yeah. So
Chairs are casts.
They are cast. I don't like casts.
Oh.
I've never broken a bone, but the thought of not being able to move something or use something just
I like actually how she talks about so many things being cast.
right and things you would even think about.
Pillows,
Yeah.
beds, toilets.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, I do like the
Socks, shoes. Shoes she called there's a 2-inch cast.
See, that's the one thing that's always bothered me. I have always loved to run outside barefoot, and just wearing shoes in general, I think is the dumbest thing ever.
Yeah, that's why I wear the barefoot shoes. They're completely flexible. They have no.
With the little toes.
They're not elevated at all. Not with the not with the little toes, but
Those things creep me out. I don't know why.
but they're wide. They fan out a little
Oh,
bit,
that's
so,
cool.
so your toes can splay as you're walking.
Nice.
Actually. So you get to use all the little muscles in the feet.
See, that's one thing I don't like about my Chucks is they're just narrow. So
Yeah.
they're nice. You can feel the ground. You can feel your weight shift, but you
Your
can't.
toes are caught in
You
that.
can't grip with
Yeah.
your toes at all.
Yeah, they're supposed to splay.
That's why I've taken them off to whenever I work out now. I'm just like, fuck it. I don't care. Smell my stinky ass feet.
There you go.
Nice.
Yeah, I was doing single leg calf raises at the gym today with my shoes on.
There you go.
Yeah. Ballerina style.
Did you curtsy too?
Maybe unconsciously.
All right, so what about goals for the week? Anybody have any? I know we should all have goals for the week. Trying to forge forward and grind away.
Yeah, I got some. I have a bunch actually. A post that I'm writing, so I'm putting out a post for Mind Body Green, that website. So my goal is to have that up there by tomorrow.
What's the post?
It's about 15 cures for busy syndrome.
Ooh, 15 cures for busy syndrome.
So it discusses how busy everyone is and how unnecessary it is and then ways to get around it.
Confusing activity with accomplishment.
Precisely. And then another one is a blog post, both for Feeling Good, Feeling Great, and Lifehack Advisors. So it's one that's applicable to both.
Oh, I like it.
Called "Do You Even Leisure, Bro?"
Oh.
About true leisure, which is losing the concept of time, being lost in the moment. So anything like that is true
Which
leisure.
doesn't happen enough, I feel like.
That's why I wrote it. And then another one is to put a course of mine on the internet. I think
Udemy.
Yeah, on there, Udemy. So I'm gonna test that out. Probably do that this weekend, and keep working on another Kindle book that I'm outlining. And the last one is to put out at least one more video on our YouTube channel.
Okay, now with all these goals you have for the week, what kind of steps are you taking to make sure that you have as much productivity as you can? That's a lot to have for anyone to have on a plate to try to juggle in a week. I'm sure a lot of people feel like, oh, I make goals, I have all these things I do, but if I don't get to it, then it gets pushed off, or how do you lump sum? Do you work at one thing at a time? You kind of hop back and forth?
Both of those. I work on one thing at a time until I hit a wall. Like on one of Tim Ferriss's podcasts, Pavel, the kettlebell guy, he said that's how he works too. Like he'll go into something until he hits that wall, then move on to whatever's next, and it's just kind of like going with the flow of how you're feeling.
Follow the path of least resistance. I like that.
Yeah.
Much less aggressive for me, but I'm a single vessel in this world, so I have many more distractions of my time and energy. I'm putting out my Valentine's kids joke book, along with trivia and all kinds of other good stuff. My other goal is to finish, but not put out one other book on. It's basically, it'll probably end up being about 100 different creative ideas of expressing love to another individual. So also around another Valentine's release.
That's an interesting one.
Let's hear one of them.
One that I've done before is when I'm gonna be away from that person that you have affection or love for. It's for every day I would put a package together for them. So that, like 2 weeks worth of shit they had to take with them, but each one contained different surprises, poems, quotes, different gifts, like really a broad array. So that every day there's like a new thing.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's not all just stuff every day.
Yeah, it's all kinds of original things.
Sappy, but nice.
Yeah. I got some quotes on that later.
Do you?
Yeah, but
And that's your weekend.
yeah, those are my, and then I want to get the outline done for launching. Well, the podcasts are pretty much up and running now. We've been approved by iTunes and Stitcher, so we'll have more of that later. But I want to launch another format that I mentioned to you guys where we dive deep on an original life hacker. So
OG life hackers.
OG Lifehack.
yeah, I don't think these would be an hour long like these have been. Focused, more short, mixed in for people.
I like it.
So that's my other goal, is that we get that sucker going.
It's nice. You gotta go back to the roots.
You?
Well, for myself, I actually started one of my goals a couple days ago. I was like, you know what? All this time I spend pooping in a day. If I poop 3 times a day, I'd say at least maybe 30 minutes total. And then half the time it gets like stretched out because I'm on Facebook or whatever. So on Evernote, I started a notebook called Poop Thoughts. And whenever I'm pooping, I just let my mind go, and it's just another way of trying to add creativity to my life, to just open up the dams of.
So you're getting off Facebook though and doing that as an alternative? Like, 'cause that I would think is more profound, as you like take a holiday from Twitter, Facebook, the like distraction porn,
Weapons of mass distraction.
Yep.
Yeah, because for me, my best ideas do come on the John or the
That's
shower.
what I'm
It's
saying. Yeah, like you're
stuff.
not thinking about it. Just I don't know. It's like a relaxed state. Your like, mind's open.
Yeah.
So it's like, why not?
It's flowing.
It is flowing, and actually, that's one of the things I wrote about. It was like something about how like you're open to more creativity because you're making room of all that toxic, just like you're the excrement. You're like pushing that out so new good stuff can come
so
in.
it's like the idea that what's going on the physical level is going on the mental
Right?
level.
Yeah.
at
I
the
mean,
same
like.
time.
So many aha moments have come while taking a dump. And like the thing, I'm never just like, oh shit, I gotta write down. I'm like, aha, back to what I was doing. So now I've kind of taken that out, and I wanted to expand that for this week. I plan on keeping my phone either on airplane mode or having it off for the whole day, except for like 30 minutes when I eat both my meals. And that's the only time I want to use them for what would be dubbed recreational.
Why wouldn't you eat?
When I eat, just because it helps slow me down, and sometimes I eat too fast. So I'll just eat and eat and eat. Next thing I know, so it kind of slows me down, regulates, gives me something to do in between bites. As for that, just to try to kind of squeeze a little extra time in the day, it seems like no matter how many hours earlier I wake up or how much I do this, there's not enough time to get done what I'd like to get done. So I figured, just start all these little windows of wasted time, just trying to forge them together, and then working on the book. Try to knock some of that out this week.
Which one?
It is Gym Etiquette, a humorous guide to not being a doucher.
Did you get my suggestion as well? Voicemail? Just that I think you should do one on alternatives to CrossFit.
Oh yeah. That would be good too. That's gonna another thing to add to the bank.
All right.
But now that we've discussed short-term goals.
Oh, and speaking of goals,
Okay.
here's another thing. I'm a big advocate of systems over goals. So instead of focusing on the destination, you focus on the path to get there.
I can dig it.
So it's basically focusing on the process.
Which is good with all things.
Yeah. And that's why
work world.
my goals are more like mini goals. They're more like steps,
Right.
So it's like I do one blog post a week. That's my system. Or one video I put out a week, or like what we're doing here, one podcast a week.
Right.
So that's the system.
Is better than the end.
Yeah.
It's all the journey,
It's
man.
all about the journey.
People are always obsessed with, with the single goal, but then what?
Yeah.
It's
But then how do you get to that goal? Because a lot of people are like, I want to be healthy, or I want to be an entrepreneur. Instead of just focusing on a system, instead of saying I want to deadlift 500 pounds, just focusing on improving by 5 pounds every week.
Yeah.
That's the system.
I like it. I feel like a lot less people would fail too if they did that.
Yeah.
Of course, you have to start to actually fail, and people set these goals, and then whether it's their self-doubts or who knows,
And
what,
that's
they
another
just don't
thing.
start. Like,
If you have a system instead of a goal, it's way easier to overcome that inertia. Because it's like, oh, I could just do this, and then you're started.
I like it.
Instead of like this lofty thing. So that's a little aside.